Okay, welcome guys. So great to have you guys here with us. We're still growing the Forex community. I think Dale does a great job in the morning, managing the room, giving you his analysis, and also, you guys sharing ideas. I really like that format. And also, obviously with this, you get the swing trades through text message and Twitter. So hopefully, you like that. So I personally swing trade, Forex, as you guys know. I'm a simple trader, nothing too special. Just simple, basic technical analysis, Forex trading, and swing trade basis more on a 4 hour and daily charts. Sometimes I'll go into the weekly, but it's mainly 4 hour and daily. So let's begin there. So we'll start by looking at our current open positions, and then we'll dive into the prior trades that we've had, and then we'll take a look at the overall, format of how this account's performed. Okay, so let's start first with the US Swiss franc. We have two positions open on this one. Okay, and actually we can go over them right now. So two positions open on this one. It's basically a hedged position, right? So we got long and pretty much short at the same price, right? We're pretty much the same price, long and short at the same price. And now what we've done is, for the short position, we kept this as a target. For a long position, our target's much higher. So you don't have any sound? You guys should have sound. Everybody have sound, correct? So anyways, this was a hedged position, which basically means if you go into the daily chart, actually let's go to the 4 hour and zoom out a little bit so you can see a little better. All right, so as we zoom out on the 4 hour chart, we see this pattern that the US Swiss franc has been in. Yeah, it's been in this pattern where this has been our downtrend line, and then it started finding support here, and now what we've got is this downward sloping trend line and this upward sloping trend line. So as this pattern approaches the apex line of that pattern, I posted on Twitter and stocked it that this is going to make a move. This is going to make a move either way. Right? If it breaks above the pattern, it's going to go higher. Breaks below the pattern, it's going to go lower. But I always like to get in first, because when it actually breaks out, it's like overnight, maybe you're sleeping and you don't catch the move. So I anticipated it, and what I did was I hedged the position by getting both long and short. All right, with a longer bias. My bias is long, but I wanted to hedge the risk. So what I did is I put it both long and short with different target and stop losses. So in case let's say I got in long and it broke out, I also have a short, right? And for the short, this was the target. For the short, this is the stop loss, which looks like the short might stop out. And the long, we already have built-in profit now, because we got in long here, and my stop loss is already up above my entry price on the long. So now, irrespective of what happens, right, the long is going to make money. Yeah. And let's say US Swiss franc fails right now, and it pulls back. What's going to happen? I'm going to get out on the long for a profit, and I'm still going to be in short for the move down. And let's assume it keeps going up. All right, let's assume it keeps going up. What's going to happen then? My short gets stopped out, but I'm still in the long, so long keeps on making money. So both ways, it's kind of a hedge position. The next trade we have going on, which is currently down, as you guys can see here, I'm down $369 on the Euro USD. This trade I still like. It barely held the stop loss today. Barely held my stop loss. But basically this trade, if we go on to the 4 hour chart, actually first let's start with the daily. Let's do our top down analysis. So the top down analysis, when we do, we see that this is the trend line on the Euro USD, which has been holding since like December 2015. Yeah, but they finally broke it on that NFP. And then look what happened. It retested that trend line, and that was a short position, right? It retested and it failed. So this becomes a retest failure with a bias for it to go down, right? And now when we dig into the 4 hour chart, look what we noticed. The similar thing on the 4 hour chart. We had this little wedge. It broke down. That was my short entry. A break of that wedge was my short entry right there. And now it retested. It failed. It came back up, and this is probably just stop hunting, right? It's just stop hunting, because you see what it did here, and I want to make it clear. There are stop hunting in the market, because look what happened. People trying to short the wedge break, people trying to short this breakdown, people trying to short this. Look what happens on the NFP. Look what happens. It takes out the highs of all these pivots, clears all the stop losses, and look what happened then. Then people may be trying to short it again, right? They get triggered in short, and look what happened today. It cleared out this tail and cleared out all the stops. So I think now, and it still held our stop loss because we used a pretty good stop loss, right? It held our stop loss, and now this trade has two options: either it's going to work, either it's not. I think it should work because now it's, you know, taken out two type of stop losses. So if it continues down, awesome. If it doesn't, you know, we'll get out for a small loser, nothing big deal. But if this is indeed a shakeout, then I expect it to go a little more sideways and then eventually down. That's what I'm expecting out of this trade. Currently down about 343. US Swiss franc, I already went over the long and the short. That one's currently overall net long and short positions included is down $22. Again, all these are assuming one lots. I don't trade big size. All right. And then the next one was the Euro Pound, Euro GBP, which is, look at that drop, guys. Oh, love it, right? So we played it long first. This was our long trade. You guys can already see my execution marked on the chart. So this is when we played a long, beautiful trade we had on the long side. And then I flipped it to a short side. Simple bias, right? You see here. Oops, let me draw my trend line again. So see this right there? This is one trend line break pattern. And here was also, you got a little downtrend forming, right? You also got another little pattern. Oops. Right there. Why can I not delete this line? All right, there you go. So basically that was the pattern. This is a 4-hour chart. You see H4? So H4 is a 4-hour chart. Okay. So 4-hour chart on Euro Pound. Basically we took an anticipation entry by shorting it a little early as it popped into the trend line. So took a short on that one, Euro Pound on the 4-hour chart, and it's pulling back beautifully. Looks great. This trade is currently up about 2,400. Again, also if I go into the higher time frames, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So see in the higher time frame, we're starting to, this is sort of like in a resistance zone. You did break out of it, but it's like a fake out above that trend line, and maybe a next pullback, and then it can still go higher. But I think we're going to get that little pullback, which is going to enable us to at least make money on it, you know. So that was a Euro Pound trade. Hey Marco, how's it going? You taking those trades? Sam and Marco, you guys took those trades? You guys in any of the positions? Yes? Nice. Awesome. Awesome job. Good job, Elvin. So so that was the Euro Pound, and then Euro Japanese Yen. So this one is a simple trade. So first let's start with the higher time frame. Okay. Let's go to the monthly chart. So what do you guys see? Let me zoom all the way out, right, like that. Okay, so we see, I've already actually drawn it, so it makes it a little easier for you. But you guys see the blue line that I've drawn in, this blue zone where I bought it. Now, before I even mention why I bought it, I think you guys already know why. Yeah, look how this was resistance. Oh wait, let me change my color because it's already blue. So let's make it red. So you see how this area was first resistance, then on the way back down it became support. Then look what happened, on the way back down became support again. A lot of congestion here again. So this area is a pretty big level for the yen, right? Pretty big level. And also this is a good area for it to sort of form a uptrend line. So what I'm really expecting is it to find support at this trend line, find support at this big level of support, and then basically just go back up, right? Basically just, I'm expecting the pattern to play out. And I'm not even hoping for all of that big move up. I'm just looking for a half retracement back into this blue zone, because you can also see this level was also area of congestion. See that? This is also a pretty big level. This blue zone is another big level. So I'm basically targeting that as my target and not looking for the extension. So that's the trade. And then if you go down, obviously the 4-hour chart or daily chart, in fact, you see what's happening on the daily chart. We have a little double bottom on the daily chart, so that made me want to go long above that daily candle and just hold it, and so far is off to a good start. So this trade is currently up, you know, where's the euro yen? There you go, 2,500, 24.40. And then the next trade was the pound USD. This trade is up the most. Pound USD. Let's start with the reasoning on the higher time frames. Let me delete all these lines. All right, so higher time frame, what I see is that there's a little descending little support that it recently broke, right? Little descending support broken. And then if we go down to, let's say, the 4 hour, all right, 4 hour chart, and if I take my fib extensions from, let's say, here to here, look what I get. Look what I get. So I did a fib extension from this low to this high, right? And look what we get. Look at this white line, the 1.1618 extension. And this was extensively covered in my course. So you guys see that? Low to high you draw, fib extension, 1618 retracement level down there. And what happens? Pulls back to the 1618, turns into a bottoming tail. Pulls back into 1618, bounces. Pulls back into 1618, bounces. And I posted this chart on StockTwits yesterday, and also Twitter yesterday, that, you know, if this breaks above this little zone, it's an easy trade back into this zone, which we are at right now, right? So above this zone will push us into this zone, which we're already at. But I think the way this is trading right now, it could go higher, because let's also take a look at it this way. You see how it's broken the trend line? Let me draw it a little better. So it broke this trend line, and that was a long entry above this blue zone. So that off to a good start. We're up 2,800 on this one. And let's recap the trades that we did in the past. So US dollar Canadian was one trade we did. Let me sort it out here. Okay, so USD CAD was one trade that we trailed out of recently. All right, so this one we got out today, overnight. Basically, I got taken out. So this was a nice trade too, a small profit, nothing big. But we saw here that on the USD CAD, what kind of pattern this is in. See this? So it went up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, and starts finding support. So we see what's happening. We got this downtrend line here. We also got this uptrend line here. So the long entry that we took was basically expecting this to break out, right? And we bought it above this right here. We bought it. It moved all the way up. It was up like 100 something pips. I didn't take my profit because, you know, sometimes you got to follow the plan, right? I cannot pick the top and bottom of every trade. But what I can do is I can sort of, you know, have my bias and let my plan play out. So right now I'm up, what, 7,400, right? I'm up 7,400. I could say, you know what, I'm up 7,400. That's amazing. I could get out of all my positions and be happy, right? I could do that. Or I could say, you know what, let me just follow the plan. Let me follow the plan. Maybe I get more. Maybe I get less. Who cares? Just follow the plan. Consistency is key, right? Just do the same thing over and over. Money will come, all right? So this trade, I could have gotten out. I could have taken 200 pips right there, 100 pips. But you know what? No. I say it could also pull back to this trend line, and we could continue all the way up higher again. So if I exited here and it pulled back and moved all the way higher again, I would feel really bad, right? So I just held it. I brought my stop up, and this morning I got taken out for a small profit, you know? Not a bad profit, small little profit there. So that's what I did on the USD CAD, small profit. And on the Euro Pound, we already went over that one. We had a long trade right there. We got out right there. That was a great trade. The USD NOK was a small little profit. We had gotten in. Where do we get in? We got in here, got out pretty much there. Small, tiny little profit. And that's pretty much it. So let's go back into what we have right now. Still no audio. No worries. Well, you can't hear me, so. Okay, so I'll post a recording. So you came in late. Can I review your USD? Sure. So let's go with your USD again. Starting with the daily, my bias on the daily was short because you see this trend line. It's been holding this trend line, and it finally broke it, and it retested. So that gives me a bias to look for shorts, right? Trend line break, retest, and failure. Back down. So then I dig into my 4-hour chart and I see the same pattern happening again. It goes down, starts wedging. It breaks the wedge. That's where I got in short. Put my stop loss above here. And so far, it's held the stop loss twice. It did some stop hunting in the middle. You see how this little NFP took out the stop losses from people who had stop losses here. Look out today's move. It took out the stop losses from people who put their stop losses here. So giving a big stop sometimes helps. So now I have, this trade has two options. It could go sideways and eventually continue lower, or it could stop me out, in which case I'll lose a little bit money. But it won't matter because of the up trades that we have going, you know. So that's the Euro USD, daily downtrend line break, retest, failure, and I dig into my 4-hour, find the similar pattern, and that's the short entry at this moment. So I'm going to delete this trend line because it's no longer valid. Now what's valid is basically horizontal support and resistance right at our stop loss. So that's what's important now. Okay. So which trade run now? What does that mean? So all these trades are currently running. Euro pound, Euro Japanese, pounds, USD, Swissy, Euro USD. So I don't want to take any more right now. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. So I'm going to let these play out. If something else pops up, you guys will be texted immediately, right? Right now, I'm not really watching much because we're pretty much in everything. We're in pound USD. We're in all the euro pairs. So right now we have everything going on. I have some, like Aussie dollar I'm watching. Let's pull that up here for a little bit. So Aussie dollar is obviously breaking out. So this one also looks like could be coming up for a really good swing trade. We have this level right there to break on the pound Aussie dollar. So if the Aussie can do this, right, that would be another trade that I'd be willing to take. That's another trade I'd be willing to take and target this trend line right there. But right now I'm going to wait for that. What's your feeling on WTI crude? I don't really trade crude that much, but let's take a look at U.S. oil. It looks strong right now. It's forming this flag pattern, basically. It's forming this pattern. So if it breaks out above it, it could go higher. Otherwise, it can also just keep on trending down like that. So it's in the flag pattern, basically. But it found support at a pretty good level. So yeah, so you see how this level is pretty big. So it's probably going to continue higher. Bounced here so many times. It's a pretty big level, so it can move back up from here. All right, so after this session, for a minute, I will have to let you know, Sam. You can ask me anything right now while we're already on this. It's much better I can do it right now because then I got to edit the video and stuff like that. Corporate account. Yeah, you can ask me right here. It's fine. But any other questions, guys? Actually, I'll call you on Skype after the session, Sam. So any other questions, guys, about any of these trades that we have going on? Any other questions about any of these trades? And as far as the account's concerned, let me actually bring that up as well real quick. So again, the equity curve so far, let me just take a screenshot of it. So this is kind of the equity curve right now. Okay. So the growth of the account is pretty decent. But so far, look at our unrealized gains that we have. We're crossing 100%, guys. We're crossing 100%. So, equity curve is already touching new highs. That's that. And what else can I give you guys analysis on? Let's see. So yeah, percentage, you know, so far it looks like this, and monthly looks like that. So pretty decent, I guess, so far. 8.1 on May, 18.2 on June, and this is a realized 22.3. But right now we're already up 7,500. So if I add that, this is probably like 50% for July, and you know, that's that. And then what else is there that I could show you? Well, I mean, I can show you this. It's nothing special, but today is 2%. That's, you know, week, month, and year. So that's that. Any other questions? Great now, great insight. Is it possible to keep a list of current trades online somewhere rather than comb through a Twitter feed? You know what? There is. Like, I could post it in here in the room. I was always updating it, but then we got into so many trades that I got lazy. Because like this is already trailed out. This is also already trailed out for profit. So I used to post it in here, but then suddenly so many good trades came up that, you know, I just got lazy, to be honest. You know? But, you know, I could post it in here. I'll try and post it in the room here. So you guys can log into the room whenever you want and just, you know, browse over to this notes area. And then you guys will see the open orders and stuff like that. So, you know, right now, I'll post it in here going forward. Okay. So that's that. And let's see how these trades plan out. What I'm going to do is, just as a heads up, I'm going to let the market settle in for today. So let's say around 6 p.m. Eastern, or let's say 5 p.m. Eastern, 5:30, when the daily candle closes, then I'm going to hop back on, not on the mic, but I'm going to hop back on in my platform. And then I'm going to evaluate and, you know, see if we need to raise stops up, you know, what do we need to do? We're going to evaluate all that. So just as a heads up, when to expect text messages from me. Mostly I'm going to be sending alerts, let's say between 9 and 11 a.m. EST. And usually my alerts will come, let's say around 4 to 7 p.m. EST. I mean, usually that's when I send most of my tweets or alerts. You know, once when I wake up and once when I'm, you know, finishing from the office. So there's 2 times I look at my Forex trades. One is when I wake up, one is when I'm going to bed, and one is like in the middle of the day when the daily candle closes. So that's the times you can expect, you know, the alerts to be sent out, just as a heads up. All right. So that's it. Good job, guys. And if you guys are on Twitter, my Twitter handle is Delta90. If you guys can, you know, tweet it out. All the love's going to Dale. Nobody tags me. Just kidding. But all right, take care, guys. You're welcome, John. Good to hear you guys are doing well. Take care.